Hello students, welcome back. Today we are going to study about the origin of family. So, we have discussed in the previous lecture about the family. Now, we are going to study about what is the origin of the family. So, after this lecture, you will be able to, as there are a threefold learning outcomes of this lecture. So, the learning outcome number one is to understand the evolution of the family. Learning outcome number second is to analyze the different perspectives by sociologists about the origin of family. Learning outcome number third is to examine the role of the family historically. So, I have given you a threefold learning outcomes of this lecture. Number one is to understand the evolution of the family, to analyze the different perspectives by varied sociologists about the origin of family. And the learning outcome number third is to examine the role of the family historically. That means we have to trace the origin, we have to trace the evolution of the family here. So I am here saying that if we have to discuss about the origin of the family, and I am saying that it is a social institution which is known from the very beginning of the primitive societies. Primitive societies here means that those societies which have been originated in this world since times immemorial. That means right from the day of existence of this world and coming of the human beings, I am here saying that that was the beginning of the family. So is the case. I am saying that it is from the very beginning of the primitive societies here. So we have a sociologist with us under the name McIver. What he says about the origin of the family? So he says in history there was no such stage in which family was absent. So he says that as he has conducted a number of surveys in the societies, so he says that as I am saying that the history, I have used here the word history. That means the past happenings. What has been going on in the past, that is included in the subject of history. And it was McIver, who is one of the renowned sociologists. And he says that in history there was no such stage, as we have the different stages in the society. And he says that there was no such stage in which the family was absent. So there is controversy about about the origin of the family. So as we have the different scholars, we have with us the different philosophers with us, and they are giving their own perspective. They are giving their own ideas about the origin of this we call it as the family. So there is obviously the controversy. There is the clash of, we call it as clash of ideologies, clash of perspectives. So is the case. I am here saying that there is a controversy about the origin of the family. Let us have a look on the different theoretical perspectives here. So number one is the theory of sex communism. So as per this theory, in ancient societies, there was no control on the permanent sex regulation. That means we have at present, in the present time, we have different rules and regulations. We have different obligations for the purpose of the sexual intercourse. But if we have a look on the theory of sex communism, and as per this theory, in ancient societies, that means in the past societies, as we have different societies and we are at present in the post industrial society. So there was, I am talking of the ancient society, and I am here highlighting the viewpoint from the theory of sex communism. So in the past, in the ancient times, there was no control on what? On the permanent sex regulation. So a man or a woman, and it is a vivid fact that the sexual intercourse takes place between two opposite sexes. That means between a male and a female. So any man and a woman could establish what? Sexual relations with other man or a woman, and there was no restriction on the sex relationship. I am talking of the times of ancient. So I am here saying that these men or the women, they can have sex, but there was no restriction on what? On the sexual relationship. So as per this theory of sex communism, I am saying that a woman was presented to the guests as a sign of hospitality. So such a stage of the sex between a man and a woman is called communism. So in the ancient past, as per the theory of sex communism, at that time the woman was presented to the guests, those who visit to the other households. They are known as the guests. So a woman was presented to them as a sign of hospitality. So such stage of free sex between whom? Between a man and a woman, we call it as the sex communism. So thus the family was the product of what? Man's feeling, or we can say that his jealousy. So there are the two words. One is the man's feeling, and number second is his jealousy. So the need was felt to have their own wives, and the family life started from there. When the people urged, when the people wanted, for what? They wanted their own wives. And when the people wanted their own wives, at that time we can say that the family life started from that very place. That was a viewpoint from the sex communism, theory of sex communism. So now we have with us another theory with regarding to the origin of family, that is patriarchal family theory. What do you mean by it? Let's have a discussion on it. So this theory was supported by two philosophers. One is known as Plato and another is known as Aristotle. So I am here saying that the theory of patriarchal family system or patriarchal family theory was supported by well-renowned philosophers, and the name is Plato and Aristotle. And it was elaborated by, we call that philosopher as Sir Henry Manet. So according to this theory, man was considered as a dominant authority. I have used the word dominant. What do you mean by dominant? Dominant here means those who exerts the pressure, those who possesses the power, those who have the more authority. Suppose we have a group of 10 individuals here. We have one person among them, say for example, he is a leader of that very 10 member association. Say his name is X. Suppose that very person X possesses what? Possesses the more power, possesses the more authority from the rest of the members. So we can say that that X person is the dominant among the 10 individuals in that very group or in that very association. So is the case. I am here saying that according to this theory, man, it was a man, not a woman. I have used the word man here. So it was the man who was considered the dominant authority over what? On whom he will force, whom he will execute his dominance. That means he will exert in over children and wife. So in Rome, man was empowered to kill his wife and the children. So the man was called the patriarch. So according to this theory, the first family which originated was patriarchal in nature. So that is the theory about the patriarchal family theory. So this theory is defective. Why this is defective? Because in most of other ancient societies, mother was also the authority and had the power of control. So the reason why this family, why this theory was defective, the reason was simple here. In the ancient societies, other than the man, the woman was also possessing the authority and had the power of control. So now we are going to have a discussion on another theory with regard to the origin of the family, that is matriarchal family theory. So some people represented the matriarchal theory of the origin of family. We have a philosopher under the name Briffault. So the Briffault, in his book, the name of the book was the mothers. So he writes that in the ancient societies, people were not aware about the relationship of offsprings with the paternity. So here Brifald's main focus in the book The Mothers was that in most of the ancient societies, the people were not aware about the relationship of offsprings with the paternity. So the people in ancient societies practice what? They practice the free intercourse with one another, in which there was what? In which there was no knowledge that who the father is. When the people are having the sexual intercourse, right? I am talking of the ancient societies. So I am here saying that the people in the ancient societies, they practice what? They practice the free sexual intercourse with whom? With one another. So when they were having this intercourse with one another, so at that time there was no knowledge. Obviously, it is a vivid fact here that there was no knowledge that who was the father, who the father is. So here it was the problem. So definitely the mother was known to give the birth to the offspring, to the child. It is obvious fact here. So it seems from the theory that the origin of the family was matriarchal. So later on, the importance of the father, it was increased. For what? With the progress of civilization and the development of agriculture here. So I am here saying that it is because of the matriarchal theory, it seems that the origin of the family was matriarchal, but later on the importance of the father, because whom to assign that he is my father, whom to allocate that he is my father, was increased with the progress of what? With the progress of, we call it as the civilization and what? And the development of agriculture. We have with us the next theory that is called as the evolutionary theory, and which has been given by Morgan. So we have with us the evolutionary theory and we will discuss it now. Say for example, consanguine family. What do we mean by it? So in this type of family, the marriage between what? Between the blood relatives was not forbidden. That means they can have the sexual intercourse, they can have the marriage with the blood relatives. Number second is benevolent family. So in this type of the family, the brothers of one family can marry the sisters of other family. But among there, no such restriction of sex. So if say for example, 3 brothers will marry 3 sisters of another family, that means they can have free sex with each other. So the rules of sex relation was not determined. So this was about the benevolent family. So in this family, the brothers of one family can marry the sisters of another family, but among there was no such restriction on the sexual intercourse. So I am here saying that the rules of sex relations was not determined in that very type of family. Next type is syndasmian family. So in this stage, one man can marry with one woman at a time, but the sex relationship of the married woman in the family was not defined in this type of family. So as per this family, as per this theory, we have the next type of family, that is mono. Mono means single, monogamous family. What do we mean by this monogamous family? I am here to discuss with you. So this is the present. I am using the word present. So this is the present stage of the family system here. So in this type, one man can marry with one woman, and one woman with one, or simple, we can say that man at a time. So here, say for example, this is a man, this is a woman. So this one man can marry only one woman, and one woman can marry only one woman, one man. So that is what is included in the monogamous family here. We have with us the next theory, that is the theory of monogamy now. So I am here discussing the theory of monogamy. What is involved in the theory of monogamy? So this theory was presented by a philosopher, and the name of that philosopher was Westermarck. So he has written a book. The name of the book was The History of Human Marriage. The name of the book was The History of Human Marriage, and it was written by Westermarck. We are discussing at present the theory of monogamy. So this theory was supported by whom? This theory was supported by Darwin, Zuckerman, Malinowski. So according to Darwin, the family originated with the need, I am saying here the need and the desire of what? Desire of man to be the owner of what? Owner of a single woman. So in the theory of monogamy, as this theory was presented by Westermarck, so he in the book, the theory of history, the history of human marriage, the history of human marriage. So this theory was supported by Darwin, this was supported by Zuckerman, this was supported by Malinowski. So according to Darwin, the family originated with the need and the desire of what? Desire of the man to have the ownership of a single woman here. So this theory is based on the man's feeling of, we call it as the ownership and the jealousy. So due to the man power and authority, he wanted to possess a woman and has the sexual relationship with her. So later on, this practice was normally accepted by the society. So this theory is called as the theory of monogamy. When one man is having the control, is having the sexual intercourse with only one woman, and we are saying that this is the theory of, this is the family, this is the theory of monogamy here. Now we have another theory that is known as the multi-factor theory of origin of the family. Many sociologists believe that there are many factors, that means there are varied factors which are responsible for what? For the evolution of the family. So we have with us a philosopher under the name Ralph Linton. So as per Ralph Linton, he says that societies have not followed what? A single life of its evolution, but many lives which diverge its evolution. So in this way, this theory is acceptable. For what? Acceptable to the modern sociologists here. We have another philosopher with us under the name McIver. So according to McIver, factors in the origin of family, he has given various factors with regard to the origin of family, and we are going to have the discussion on these factors here as per McIver. So number one factor is, it is a sex. So I am here saying that this is the basic factor in what? In the family of origination. Number second is, the sex is necessarily for what? For the satisfaction and the gratification of the family members here. So it is the innate tendency of the family for the production of offsprings. So I am here discussing the factors with regarding the origin of the family. So these factors has been given by McIver, and the number one factor is the sex. So I am here discussing that this is the basic factor. For what? It is a basic factor in the family of origination. So sex is necessarily for what? For the satisfaction, and number second is the gratification of what? Of the family members who are residing within a family. So it is the innate tendency of the family for what? For the procreation of the offsprings here. Number second factor is reproduction. So the strong desire of the family originated is that of the reproduction of children and their rearing. So this is the desire between the man and woman to have the children. So I am here saying that the strong desire of the family originated is that of the reproduction of the children and their rearing. Number third factor here is the economic organization. So family plays an important role in the fulfillment of what? Fulfillment of the basic needs of the family members here. So the male was the source of economy for the wife and requirements of the members of the family here. From this discussion, we can conclude here that there is no specific theory of evolution and the origin of the family. But many people have presented their own point of views about the origin of the family. Nowadays, if we see the multi-factor theory, it is practiced by everyone and it is accepted by many sociologists here. So we can conclude here that as we have discussed the various theories, as we have discussed the viewpoints from the different sociologists, from the different philosophers here, about who have given their viewpoints about the origin of family, we can conclude here that there is no specific theory of evolution as well as the origin of the family. But we have many people, they have presented their own perspective, own ideas, own viewpoints about the origin of the same. So nowadays, if we can have the information of the present time, the multi-factor theory is practiced by everyone and it is accepted by many sociologists here. So that is all for now. We will meet now in the next lecture.